I guess that's about when we are live to Facebook, to all the different countries watching this. And it's strange to be here in front of your camera. And this is kind of the feeling that I think more and more people are getting, that you're not supposed to look at your own picture. You're supposed to look at that green dot. That's one of the things that is the magic to becoming an online presentation expert, is ignore everything else. Look at the green dot and everyone will be seeing you just nicely. I want to welcome everyone, all of those that were qualified for the director trip especially. And of course, I do see that this is not the ideal situation of having our director trip program, but we do what we need to do. And then I want to wish everyone welcome from all across the world. I hope that we're having people from US, they're getting early up in the morning. I know people in Australia is staying late. Maybe we have some of our new colleagues from Asia also, Malaysia and several other countries watching this live right now. And then of course, everyone from Europe, where the majority of our business is happening. You're with us today. And I want to welcome you, and we're going to have an amazing hour together. We picked a subject for the director trip, the educational theme. And when I read this subject coming into everything that is going on in the world right now, I was wondering who picked that subject, because is it possible to be more spot on than the subject that we picked? And then I realized that it was probably Hilda, and I probably had a little bit of involvement with it myself as well. And the subject is Mission Possible. And we are faced with a situation in the world where I think a lot of people do feel that they're up against Mission Impossible. That it's not possible to see any hope, that there is not possible to run their business, where it's not possible to think that this is going to be a good time moving forward. And then in the midst of that, my subject and what I will be going through today, and what we will be going through at 2 o'clock European time every single day for the next 5 days, is around the subject. The theme that we picked for the director trip 2020 is Mission Possible. So the 23rd of March 2020, Cincino is what I call Mission Possible. And yes, I don't want to just start this off in the 1 hour of monologue here. It feels a little bit like it would be so fun to see all of you guys. It'd be so fun to be at Gran Canaria at the beautiful 5-star hotel. And at this point, we were supposed to go around giving each other's big, long hugs, big high fives. And for the week, we're going to celebrate the new high ranks and celebrate all the new ones that achieved the director trip for the first time. And we were going to have a good time. We were going to have late night dinners, and we were going to sit around sharing memories, and then we're going to get up early in the morning and have our yoga and or Zumba and or jogging and or fitness sessions in the mornings. And then everyone was of course looking forward to the exciting trainings and all the things that would go on in the room when people get tight together. We feel the warmth and the energy of each other. So we would be sharing thoughtful moments. We would be sharing learning experiences. We would be sharing fears, and we would be sharing joy. And then it would build up to the perfect storm, which is a little bit different than the storm that we're having right now, where we would have all the nations getting together and play the volleyball game. And the dreams that we've had for all of this year was to have the perfect setup and the perfect smash, and then win the game. And again, Norway, well, all of you guys go Sweden, Denmark, Hungary, Iceland, but again, Norway, I say, would win, and we would beat the office, and we would have all the energy and everyone sharing and a fun-filled day. That was what we were supposed to do today. But instead, we had the world hit by something striking, the coronavirus and the COVID-19, which changed every single plan that we had. And it's changing our country, it's changing our society, it's changing your nation, it's changing families, it's changing businesses, it's changing the world that we knew just a few weeks ago. It has become what we feared it would become, a global pandemic, specifically right now hitting Australia badly, hitting Europe badly, hitting the US badly, and soon it will be hitting other countries in Asia badly. Hopefully they will be able to react earlier than what we did in Europe, and it'll hit eastern parts, it'll hit Africa, South America, but hopefully those countries will learn from the mistakes that we've done, and that it won't be as bad where it's hitting now as where we were taken by surprise. Well, in the middle of that, I just want to walk you through the process. Zinzino was not taken by surprise. I can remember late January when the crisis started up in China, and I got aware of this on the 22nd, 23rd of January, when they all of a sudden closed down a 62 million people province in China for a long period of time. I think they said 3 weeks to begin with, and in the end it ended up being 8 to 9 weeks, because there was 574 or 73 people infected with a new virus called coronavirus, and there was a few deaths. And I felt that that was strange, because such a little thing in such a big country, it must be something more serious than what we're seeing. And I remember talking with Dr. Paul, and he was fearing that this could spread into a pandemic. I don't remember exact which day it was, but basically what he said was, unless we shut down every single airline traffic right now, this will spread. There is nothing we can do to stop it. And that didn't happen. We shut down parts of it, and then it spread slowly, and then it spread all of a sudden very fast again. And that's why we're in this situation. So for the past 4 to 5 weeks at Zinzino, we have been doing a lot of things to get prepared. So we were not as prepared as we would like to be, but we were more prepared than most companies. And that's good, because that means that we've got product in stock. That means that we've got a strategy for running our factory while this is going on. That means that we up the orders before other people up their orders at factories that we don't control. That means that we've been ahead on logistics. Yes, there is going to be troubles on logistics, but it also means that we've been doing several things to get prepared. Just how the employees work, how the shifts work, and all of those things we've been putting in place, because we don't want to be taken by too much of a surprise. One of the things that we do as leaders is that we plan for the worst and then we hope for the best. So a lot of the things that we're seeing now, we were hoping that wouldn't happen, but we were planning like it was going to happen. And that's why we're strong in the middle of this. Just a couple of hours ago, we did address the Leadership Council, and we've got meetings every week going on for an hour every Monday on Zoom. And we're in tight dialogue with most of our leaders on a weekly basis. And one of the things that we talked to them about was just that we were prepared and what we needed to do at this period of time. And then we also shared some good moments, and we also went through whatever we needed to go through to kind of make the plans for this week coming into the Director Week. And the Leadership Council was, of course, aware of all the things going on, because we've been addressing them on a weekly basis for a few weeks already. But one of the things that we did spend some time on is the situation that we're in the middle of. And it's kind of hard to kick off this week because at one point, I want to just be the person that you know me as, the visionary person that promotes the future. But on the other hand, I have to be the person that also talks about the things that are going on today. I cannot leave that the world is in a desperation behind me. But what we did address the Leadership Council about was that a lot of people are today in fear. And that fear is obviously going to grow in a lot of areas around you. And it can sometimes be hard in the middle of fear to be the person that you want to be, to drive business forward. And of course, by the end of this conversation that I have with you today, you will be ready to drive the business forward because that's the purpose of this conversation. But fear is an unpleasant emotion, and it's caused by the threat of danger, pain, harm, and the COVID-19 obviously creates a lot of harm. And fear does a lot of things to us. It shortcuts our brain. Actually, what it does when we're hit by fear, the right and the left part of your brain, and it's so hard with right and left when I look at myself in the camera, it's kind of shut off. And you go down to the amygdala, the bottom brain, and in that bottom brain, you really just have three responses. One response is that we freeze, we do nothing, so we get scared. You've probably at one point been on stage and you got a brain drop. That's the response of fear, where you freeze and you don't get anything out of your brain, and the brain gets shut down by fear. The other thing that happens, that's the most common response today, is that we freeze. We don't get anything done. We become ineffective. We keep updating the news for the 18th time, and it's the same headline. Or we keep updating our back office for the 18th time, and it's the same headline. Same results, same credits. The other response is that we fly. We go into hiding. People can't get a hold of us. You don't want to see people. You don't want to address people. You don't want to pick up the phone. You don't want to go online. You don't want to book meetings. You don't want to do any of those things. That's the second response. And then the third response is fight, but in this kind of freeze mode. The fight is more like you fight yourself out of a situation. So it actually pumps adrenaline, and you can flee from the scene, and you can fight your way out of the scene. And I wouldn't leave it with that last part. I want us to go into a fighting mode, but not because of fear. And that's the goal with today, is that we will get that fighting spirit up, but not because we're fearful, but because we are faithful. Because in the middle of this situation, the world needs more than any time before that we have innovation, and that we have faith, and that we have dreams. And of course, that will feel strange, and that's what I talked with Leadership Council about. It feels strange that we will be dreamers, that we will talk about visions, that we will talk about innovation, that we will talk about good things, that we will talk about all the great things that are to come in the middle of a constant narrative in the media spreading fear, spreading hysteria, and a lot of our governments spreading incompetence. If you go through what happened, they said, okay, this will be just like the regular flu. And then 1 week later, they say, this is nothing like the regular flu. Then they say, this will go away in May. And then 1 week later, they say, we don't know if it will go away in May. Then the expert says that this is not going to be as bad. And then they say, well, we will run out of ventilator. We will run out of hospital space. We will run out of disease control. So it's not only that we have hysteria, but we have incompetence from the very people that we thought was able to lead us. The experts or governments and our health professionals. And yes, we do pray for every single one of them. And our heart goes out to them, because it's difficult to lead in a crisis like this crisis, because you're faced with something that is called the unknown, the things we cannot control, the things that we didn't have plans for. And if there were plans for them, they were so unreal that you really never did prepare for them. But today we have a time where it's time for us, well, let me put it a different way. Let me just backtrack there. We don't need to be filled with fear, because that doesn't bring out our best. It's a time where we need to be a different person. You as a Cincino partner and you as a Cincino leader, you need to bring out your best today. We need our best. We need our faith. We need our innovations. We need to learn fast. We need to fast track all of those things that maybe we are incompetent in. We need to go on a fast track of learning, and we need to dream, and we need to look into the future. A lot of people know a lot about the past. Today they live in the present, and you know, the past, I've been teaching this for a long time. It's passing. The past cannot teach us about this unknown. And then we have the present, the day to day, where we are today, and then we have the future, where we're going. And as a visionary, we always live in the future. So as we were weeks ago warning, and this was what I also said to the Leadership Council today, it kind of feels a little bit strange now, because we've moved into more of the center of the storm, and we know that the storm is going to get a lot worse. Don't get me wrong. This is not something that I'm taking lightly at any point of time. I'm hoping that this will not happen, but in what I can see in the predictions, Norway will have a healthcare system collapsing unless we have a miracle happening, and we pray for that miracle. Italy already have it collapsing. Spain is at the verge. US is going into hard planning for it not to collapse. And we're doing every measure in every country around the globe right now that is hit by the pandemic to slow it down as much as possible. And that's why I would also urge every single viewer here today to do as much as you can to slow it down. Don't go into that panic mode, you know, where you start spreading a lot of conspiracy theories, where you start talking about a lot of things, where you doubt everything, every news. No, stay in the mode of hope, stay in the mode of belief, become a visionary, see the future a little bit better than what it is today, because we need that, and take action on things that we can do and the things that we can control. That's the important part. That's what we actually do at this moment in time. So as a visionary, we've already started looking at the things that happens after this passes. And with all the data that came in, and I don't want to spend much more than a couple of more minutes now on the situation that we're in, but with the data that we're getting in, we do see that this is very dramatic. It's absolutely a dangerous virus, but it's not as dangerous as we anticipated it to be about 3 weeks ago, 5 weeks ago. Because in the beginning, when we didn't know anything, we were afraid that this was going to take a big portion of the planet, kind of like the Spanish flu. That was the closest that we could compare it with. But today we're seeing that, no, that's not going to happen. Yes, it is going to be deadly for a lot, but primarily it is deadly for those that are older. And I'm not taking that lightly. My parents are late 60s and beginning 70s. My grandmother is 94. So I'm not taking this lightly at all, because just because you're older doesn't mean that you're less worth, you're just as valuable. But there is still a difference in what's going on, because all of those that have kids, and that's most people out there, we can be safe for our young kids. They don't have to be troubled with it. There is no, so far, known death below the age of 9. And we celebrate that. That's a positive. That's something that can give us confidence that it's not going to hurt the next generation. And there has been many pandemics before. I can mention polio in the 50s that was specifically targeting in the beginning the ages from 6 months to 4 years, and then it mutated and it targeted 5 to 9 years, and then it mutated and it targeted even a little bit older. So it was all the young people that were as danger, and luckily we innovated and our planet got saved from that pandemic. You're very safe from 9 to 19. Yes, there is death in that age group if there is several preconditions. And that's very sad. And my heart goes out to the family that have kids that are struggling with that. And especially the people in the Cincino family. You're also very safe in the age group from 19 to 29 and 29 to 39. And if you don't have preconditions, it can be a very serious disease, but most people do survive that. Very, very few people pass away. And you could then take the comparisons that yes, people in that age group also pass away from the flu, but cancers and other things is still a lot more dangerous when we get to that age group. And then 39 to 49, heart disease is a lot more dangerous than this in that age group. And 49 to 59, I don't have to even explain that there is a lot of other things that poses a lot bigger threat. Then from 59 to 69, the coronavirus do pose a more real threat than anything else that is out there today at this point, at least in the short term, if you're healthy. And if you have preconditions, well, you are facing a troubled time already because of your precondition, and the COVID-19, the coronavirus becomes an additional threat. And then 69 to 79, it becomes even more dangerous, and 79 to 89, it becomes a very severe problem. And that's the age group where we do see the most people passing so far. But here is a good part in the sad time. And that is that a family that loses their grandmother, like I will at one point lose my grandmother, she is 94. All my other grandparents have already passed away. My grandfather, well, he passed away from, one of them passed away from pneumonia at the age of 97. It's a very natural thing. And we were in shock and we grieved, but our family got through it. My other grandfather passed away from cancer at about 90, and we grieved, but the family got through it pretty quickly. And my grandmother passed away at 84 many years ago, and she had multiple different problems, so it was more of an immunal collapse. And the family got through it, and we moved on pretty quickly. And the world accepts that when you're old and you die, the family gets through it pretty quickly, and society gets through it pretty quickly. And that's the only good in the middle of the sad, is that it's not robbing the generation to come. It's thinning out the generation that is already at the age of passing. And that's why I believe that when we're now at the center of the storm, this is not going to be as bad. It's not going to be as drastic as many people are predicting right now. It's actually going to be a little bit better because we are already prepared that things can happen to those at a higher age. And especially for the families that have several preconditions, we are prepared that this could happen. And that's why I want to turn us to a more positive future. I absolutely believe that we're doing something incredible at this point of time. And I'm talking about the world in general. From everywhere around the world, scientists are getting together to find innovations to solve the crisis. We're developing vaccines, we're developing drugs, and I think that in the nutritional industry, we're developing products that is going to be even better coming into the next crisis because we learn from everything that we're doing. Crisis sparks innovations. It sparks survival. Our instinct as humans beings are surviving. And you know what? The instinct of a virus is also surviving, but human beings are much smarter, very much more resilient, and very much more innovative. And we are going to fight it, and we're going to find ways to kill it, and we're going to move through it. And I hope that we will be back to a normal society already by the leadership school. It does not look like that today, and I might be completely wrong, but that's my hope, because I want to look into your eyes and I want to tell you that this crisis, just as any other crisis on the planet before, we will get through it. We will win. We will move through it, and we will be strong. And Cincino is mission possible in the middle of everything that is going on. And I want us to be out there and represent that. I want us to go out there and represent that, yes, it's a possible mission. We can do this. We can win, we can innovate, and we can do business together. Because every crisis that we've had before, the common truth when people say this and that, and they're attacking vitamin companies for promoting that this can upregulate people's immune system, well, that common truth is always replaced by new knowledge when we get through the crisis. And I feel with all of those people around several countries that have been standing up and saying that, try my product, try this method, go out and do this, and you will have better immunity, and maybe that gives you a better odds. Maybe that gives your parents better odds. I've always, well, I feel with those people that have been attacked by the media, when they don't have any solutions to offer, they say to the few people that are doing their best to offer hope and believe and dream, and they try to take them down as well, so that there is only darkness out there. I don't believe in that kind of a world. That's not what we represent. Cincino stands for something much better than that. The world needs a business like ours today more than it's ever needed it before. And there has never been a greater need for a product at any time. People need to get tested to find their score so that we can build up their cell membranes, have healthy cell membranes, so that nutrients can go in and out, hormones can go in and out, so that all the benefits of being in balance can be given to them. And yes, we think that extend, acting in 2 to 4 days to rebuild the innate immune system, and over a longer period of time, rebuilding several other components of your immune system. That is an absolute critical thing. And we do need this product. This is an amazing product. Symbiotic, also fast acting, going from gram negative in your gut to gram positive in your gut in just 2 to 4 days. Incredible. And we know that that also has to do with our immune system. No, we cannot say that if you get on this, you don't get the COVID-19. That would be stupid, and it would be absolutely not true. But what we can say is that when you get on this, you better your nutritional status, and bettering your nutritional status will upregulate your immune system. And we hope that that will be enough. And it's not only a hope, it's something that we're pretty confident in, but we don't have a clinical trial. So we can say that it does that, or we can't say that it doesn't do that. All we say is that in 2019, we were promoting this like crazy, that this was the way to build your immunity. This was the way to get your health back. And that is just because we're in March 2020, we're not going to change that message. We believe in that message. We absolutely believe in it. And in 2021, yes, you know what we're going to do? We're going to test more people than we've ever done before, because that is what we need. I'm moving my earbuds in and out here, hoping that I don't lose sound at any time. So I do have some people that might be texting me if I lose sound. I hope that some people will be doing that. And then we have the Viva fast acting. When everyone is getting fearful and nervous, I recommend this product. This one we know works on the fear of the COVID-19 because you'll be more calm and you'll feel more relaxed and more secure about your day and your future. Protect is an excellent product at this time as well, especially for the kids. And then I bring up the lean shake. If you got to be stuck inside and the store closes down, stuck up on the lean shake. This is something you can live on and it's healthy for you. And for those that have the accessibility, when you can't go to the coffee shop, you should get some coffee. I feel sorry for the American and Australians, but I do think we can deliver it to most people in Europe. So order some coffee in the middle of it. Make your beautiful, nice cappuccino, cafe latte at home. So I choose to take the long-term view. That's what I'm choosing. I want to look at this in the long-term view. And I have my board with me because I don't think we could ever have a trip or a beginning of an event which we don't draw the graph. So be with me here. I'm going to be hugely excited in my own little office space here with the graph, because we started this business in 2005, then come 2010, then came 15, then came 2020, and soon we'll have 2025, then we'll 2030, then we'll have 35, and then we'll have 40, and then 45, and then eventually 2050 will come. That's the long-term view, guys. That is what's going to happen, is that we're going to move into that future. And look at what has happened on the journey already. We've had several crises. Remember 2008, we had a financial crisis, and that moved into 2009. And guess what Cincino did? We grew 34% in the financial crisis year, 2008, I think that was number. And then in 2009, I think we upped it up to 44. When everyone else was struggling, we were thriving and growing. Then if you look at 2010, and many people don't think about 2010 that much as a crisis year for Cincino, because it wasn't. I think we had over 50% growth that year, or very close to it. But that was when I got my stomach problems. And it was in 2000, look here, 2012, that's when the innovation, that's when I was brought to the balanced oil, I was brought to the balanced test, and I found the solution for my stomach problem. And what did that do from Cincino? Well, we went from a company selling 50,000 coffee machines a year to testing hundreds of thousands of people a year. That crisis, that personal crisis, made us better as a company, because we brought on something that is absolutely changing the world, has been, is doing, and will be, instead of only selling the world's best coffee, which we still do, which I still love. But this is better, and it came out of a crisis. It came out of me having pain 20 minutes every morning. It came out of me having fear for the future, that I was going to be ill and not be able to do my business. But instead, it turned into something good that made our business propel and made the health so far of hundreds of thousands of people becoming better. Why? Because of a health crisis. Then if we go on here, I've got more things here. So in 2015, so here we have 2015, this is 20, I forgot to write in these dots here. 2015, we had the IT crisis, self-inflicted problems that we weren't prepared for. Yes, and the IT crisis gave a setback, but we grew 24% in the middle of the IT crisis. And it led us to another thing, because we were struggling in our home market. It led us to innovation of new products. We brought on the Lean Shake during 2015 and 16. And it led us to opening up Europe and expanding, because we saw that some markets were so crushed and they were so saddened by the problems that we had. So we decided that we will expand. That was actually one of the stories that I was wondering about opening with, but I didn't end up opening with something else, was about that time, because I had a phone call from director, said that you're absolutely crazy. You're launching new products, you're opening new markets while we still have problems in Norway. And I said, well, you know what? Well, I don't know if I can help with the camera for whoever asked about that. Know what? It's just what we do. We are expanding. We don't stop our plans just because we're planning. We don't stop our plans. We don't stop moving into the future just because we are going through a crisis right now. We're not going to do that. It's not going to happen. We will actually keep on moving with the plans that we have. That's what we're going to do. There is no chance we're going to back down. No, we will strengthen up and we will move into the future. So that was 2015, 2016. We grew another 11% and 17, 13. And then in 18 and 19, we did a lot better. In last quarter of 19, we were back fully on track, 50% growth. And I'm so proud of that. And as I said, again, to Leadership Council this morning, this is a team of champions. What we're doing in the month of March when everyone else is struggling. When Hilde and I look at our daily credits update, we see increase of 42%, increase of 56%. One day we had one of the legs was increase of 117%, and 92% another one. Then we have 31, then we have 15, then we have 28. And on a daily basis, I hope that you still can hear me here. Can you hear me still? Somebody confirm. Because this one was running out. Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Okay, good. Then this one is connected. Thank you, Henrik. That's why we have moderators on the line. So we then see that things are going well. It's an incredible growth. We are a team of champions in the middle of this. And you know what? When we're going to grow for the future, we're in 2020 now. As I said, we're coming in, and the growth that we have had so far, and you guys have seen me draw this a lot of times, incredible growth. Wow! 250,000 customers is what we have now. We did 77 million euros in sales last year, incredible. But you know what's going to happen? Right now in March, we have the COVID-19 crisis, you know? That's coming up in the middle of it. So we had a crisis in 2008, I had personal crisis in 10, in 15, we had an IT crisis. Now in 2020, we have a global pandemic crisis. So I can predict how this is going to go. In 2024, there is going to be a crisis. In 2028, there is going to be a crisis. In 2035, there is going to be a crisis. In 2044, there is going to be a crisis. In 2045, there is going to be a crisis. In 2049, there is going to be a crisis. Either personal or in the family or in the business or in the world, or something is going to happen. There is always going to be crisis. And you know what? If I track back in history for thousands of years and all the way over here, do you know what the world is filled of in history? It's crisis, 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 crisis. And every time there is a crisis, we innovate, we become better, we become stronger, we find new ways of doing things. And after the crisis, the world doesn't go back to normal. The world becomes a better place every single time. So yes, for all of those that are getting hurt, I feel sad. But for those that are able to work through this and are able to be with us on this and can avoid getting in personal crisis during this time, in many ways, the crisis will make us become better, will make us become stronger. And by the way, Hilda's texted me here. Everyone can hear you. And then there is a heart. You're the best. Thank you so much, Hilda. I love you too. And I do love her. She is an amazing woman, and you guys will hear from her tomorrow. So after the crisis, it becomes better because That's what happened. We take out the best of us during this time. So here is my prediction. 2023, we will hit 1 million customers in Zinzino. 2035, we will hit 20 million customers in Zinzino. 2050, we will hit 100 million customers in Zinzino, because each one of these crises will make us better so that we actually become able to do this. Without anything coming up, we wouldn't be on that path. Without 2010, right here, we would still be in the coffee business. Without my personal crisis, without 2008 and 2009, we would still be paying 8-10% in interest on our financing on our houses. Do you guys know that? That lowered the interest rate permanently all over the world, and it's going down as we speak. Without the IT crisis, we wouldn't start the development of our company to becoming a Nutri-Med tech company, so nutritional medical tech company. We wouldn't have that focus on doing the IT the way we're doing. And without that crisis, we would not be able to do what we're doing right now, turning our whole business online and actually performing a little bit better after the crisis of the COVID-19 than before the crisis of COVID-19, because we're actually seeing and working and educating and training and getting more people working than ever before. And sorry that I get so engaged. I might sound angry, I might sound, I'm not, I'm very happy. But I just want you to see that view of the future that I choose to look at. I'm choosing to look at that we're gonna do this no matter what. We're gonna become better and better and better and better. And the world needs this more than any time before. Let me just take you back here in something that you might have been gone through before. You see this curve here is my favorite global mega trend curve, and that's the test-based nutrition. That's the global mega trend. So the first 2.5% of the innovation is the innovators, the people that come first, the people that discover it, the people that start talking about it, that is willing to take 3, 4, 5, 6 no's for every yes when they start talking about it. And it goes kind of slow in the beginning, but when the growth rate, which of our company is 33.8% a year, that's not very slow, but it seems slow. It's actually maybe on the testing side a little bit higher than that. We're maybe growing even a little bit more on the testing, because we do have other products segments that doesn't grow as fast as this one. So that's the innovation part. That's where we start, and then eventually at one point we'll get to the trend setters, which is 13.5%, and then eventually at one point we'll get to the early majority, which is 34% of the population, and it's the late majority, which is another 34% of the population. Then we have the laggers, which is another 16% of the population. But what I want you to understand with this is how many people that is already looking for you. Okay, now I'll be honest with you, they're not looking for you because they don't know about this test yet, but as soon as they know about this test, they will be looking for you. And that's the people that currently consume omega-3. All the people that currently consume omega-3, which is 500 million people globally, they are looking for this, because I consumed omega-3 for 30 years before I got tested. My first test result showed that whatever I did for 30 years didn't work because my score was 10.4 to 1. I spent 60 euros a month, and I spent 3 different supplements, 3 different companies, and I didn't have the perfect score. And that's absolutely crazy. And out there right now, there is 500 million people that this month, if the stores are still open, and most of the grocery stores are open, most of the health food stores are open, and all the online stores are open, they will go and find something that looks like an omega-3 supplement. And I say looks like because there is a lot of stuff out there that I don't know how they managed to call it omega-3, but they put omega-3 on the packaging and the marketing somewhat. They'll go and look for that. They'll buy it only for one reason. And that is because they think that that's the best that they can do for their health. Some of them buy other supplements in addition, but they bought into omega-3. It's important. It's important for my brain, for my heart, for my muscle, for my joint. It's important. And then when we test them, 97% of that group globally doesn't have a good score. They failed the test. And when they start drinking the balanced oil, they get an amazing result. In just 4 months, they go in balance when we test them again. That's absolutely incredible. So if you think about that, 2.5% of that group, that's a lot of people. So this month, we're passing 500,000 tests total in our company, before and after tests. And we're going to celebrate that. We're proud of that. That's an amazing result, okay? But that's not 2.5%. 500,000 people, that's for every 100 million, it's 2.5 million. So in total, before we've done the innovation globally, we got to test 12.5 million people. If we go back here, you see why we need to reach this goal faster? Do you see why we need to reach this goal faster? Because we will be a trend somewhere in 2030, 2031, 32, if we're only selling to people that are doing omega-3s. But did you know that there was other people out there too? All the people that use nutrition, that's another 500 million people in addition to the in addition to that is using other nutritional supplements, but no omega-3s. And guess what? 99% of them failed the test. They've said, normal food isn't good enough. I need something in addition to that. I'm taking vitamin C, and that might be a good choice. I'm taking vitamin D3, and we think that that's a good choice too. But they're taking a lot of shakes, powders, a lot of greens, a lot of things. And when they test, when they get this test, they completely fail the test, 99% of them. So for us to include everyone in the world that today are taking nutritionals, and then I'm not talking about the 2 billion people that are eating healthy, and the 5.7 billion people, 1 billion people that are eating healthy, organic, vegan, and so on. And then the 5.7 billion that think that they are eating healthy. Let's forget about these for a while. Let's just take the 1 billion people. That would be a total of 25 million people to actually just make this a trend. When we go into trendsetters, when this is going to accelerate. So there is a couple of things that we need to do very rapidly. We need to go towards global expansion. So global, I can't write now. I'm so excited. Global business. So we need to go to global business so that each one of the people in this group gets the chance, hey guys, gets the chance to get tested. 25 million of them, so that this can become a trend. And we got to do this fast. We got to do this in the next 5 to 10 years. So that what I think will happen is that, yes, we grew 33.8. Yes, I think that we can do 33% every single year. But yes, I believe that through innovation, through crisis, through the things that are happening, we could push this up maybe to 40% annually, maybe to 50% annually, maybe to 100% annual growth. And these numbers would come a lot faster, and we would move into this next group a lot faster, and we would become a company like no other company out there. And that's why I'm excited. That's what I'm looking at. And I'm looking at this in the middle of what we're going through right now. I didn't start looking at this because of what came up. This part of my talk was planned. I was planning to share this with all of you guys in Gran Canaria. This was what I was going to be excited about for a full week. Mission possible. We can become that company that makes, well, we are already the leading company in test-based nutrition, but we can become that company that changes the world, that inspires people to take care of their health, that inspires people to be healthy and go on our health protocol with all of these brilliant products that we have made, that we all know. Everyone that is on this Zoom, or I'm on a Zoom, you're on a Facebook Live, you know that this stuff is working. This stuff is working 10 times better than anything else out there. This product brings balance in the body like nothing else out there. That was what I was excited about talking to you about, and I was planning how it's going to jump around the stage and high five people that have gone from 0 to 15,000 customers in a year, and other people becoming presidents in 2 years, and all the new diamonds that doesn't speak my language. I was planning to just be on fire together with everyone, celebrating all of that. And I'm not holding back. We're still going to celebrate that, because this is what's going to happen in our future. There is nothing that can stop something that becomes self-evident. And when I tested, after using omega-3 products for 30 years, I failed the test. And after using this for 4 months, I got a 1.7 to 1, from 10.4 to 1 to 1.7 to 1. An absolute rock star result, incredible result, 500% improvement. It became self-evident. This is the way of the future. Test-based nutrition is the way of the future. And all of us already know that. All we need to do is to accelerate it. Get the message out there faster, and then faster, and then faster. Okay, I've got 6 minutes left, and you see, I've gotten over the green dot now. I'm excited with you guys, and I hope that you guys are having as fun as me at home when you see the vision of what's going to happen. It's absolutely magical. We're going to be one of those companies that goes to tens of millions, hundreds of millions of people. We become a unicorn. We become something that is different, something that gives hope, something that changes, and all the lives change. Like I told about my father, could fold his hands again. One of the good things with the COVID-19 is that he take the product so religiously, the oil and the extend and everything that I want him to take. So because I told that he could fold this completely and this not completely, maybe with the dosages he's taking now, he can fold this completely by the end of this. After 8 years of me saying, you got to take it every day, 2 times a day. He's not done that, but no, maybe he's going to do that. And sorry to all the translators when I'm talking this fast. We are on the fast track of learning. For all of those that learn how to go online, do your meeting, get the same closing rate on customers online as you have offline, learning how to do the business presentations, learning how to do all of the different things that all the events and everything that we're doing, all the things that we're doing. And Peter Sorensen was texting me here, and he is sailing his boat home. He's rescuing that during the Corona crisis before everything closes down. But all the things that we're learning will help us when we come out of the crisis, because the fact that a pastor friend of mine had to move his church online. I talked to him for over a year, start doing online services, one English, one Norwegian. And he didn't do it, but this crisis made him do it. And in the second Sunday of the crisis, he had more viewers than he've ever had before. More people can get his message than ever before. And that's incredible, you know? And when you learn all of the things and you innovate and you become better and you use all of the tools and you follow your upline leadership, your leadership council leaders, your royal crown leaders, your crown leaders, all of the people that are above you, and you copy them and you do what they're doing and you become successful, and you work as well online as offline. When this crisis, which will come to pass, and we move into the better world, which is after the COVID-19 is killed off in some way, either it dies out on its own, there is hopes for that still, or we find other methods to kill it. And there is lots of people that is working on that. And we discover maybe in the middle of this that our products is just as good as we believe they are, that they're protecting people better than anything else out there. And I hope so, and I pray for that. Then when we go out of this, you'll go on a 10x path. It will go so fast for you that you have no idea. And that's why we have to have a good strategy during the next weeks and next months. Because we want you to come out of this, not wounded, not hurt, but strong, and going for a 10x, coming out of this, going full time, making this your primary business, so that you will forever be a part of making this a global megatrend at a much higher speed and a much more profitable business for you than ever before. So we launched the Fast Start, increase of the Fast Start program at 600 more euros in the first 60 days if you catch all of the Fast Start bonuses, including the gold and executive. We did the health protocol kit where you can get for 495 euros, products for yourself, 3 extra tests and so on, the same that is in the health protocol, and then get the refund after 12 months. And then we increase so you can get 3 refunds if you go to 100 customers in your first 12 months, which is incredible. So we bettered our toolbox on how we can go out and work. And now you as a leader, and I want you to take leadership, if you have the possibility to it, and it doesn't hurt your family financially, or you have to do it because your family is already hurt financially, step up and become a full-time leader. And you become the organizer of the calendar so that you make sure that all of your part-time people have meetings on a daily basis. And you make sure that all of your full-time people have like 5 to 10 different meetings on a daily basis. And we don't change the system. This is not a time to go and learn Facebook marketing or online attraction or sign up to online selling classes. No, scratch that. We bring the system that we have that works and we bring it online, and we just do 10 times more meetings than before, because now we can reach everyone in the world more or less at the same time in all of our open markets. We do one-on-one, two-on-ones, three-on-ones, small group meetings, home parties, all of those things that we used to do offline, we now do online. Then a few simple action steps. Focus on upselling. Upsell your customers. If we got every single one of our partners to move through an upsell process so that we got every single customer that we have, in addition to the oil, to buy the Extend, or in addition to the oil and Extend, buying the Symbiotic, or in addition to oil extended Symbiotic, getting the shakes, or Viva, or Protect, or coffee, whatever it is. If every single active customer we have, we made one upsell to them, we would have the biggest growth record in the month of March that we could ever imagine. Then actually we could say the crisis made us double. Same with April. My little son is coming here and he's going to be in the background as I finish this up. Then work with your customers to get their product free. Since Sinnen for Free didn't end, every single one of your customers that know is in a challenging financial situation or just want to have free products, book them online, Zoom, so that they get Sinnen for Free. Then go for new customers, because there is a large demand. Our products has never been more important than today. Then look at all of the partners that you can restart. We absolutely need to restart all of the old partners, all the gray spots in your tree, all the people that came in that kind of faded off, all of the brand new people that haven't gotten into action. That's a restart. Get them focused from today to do the business on a daily basis. Then we need to bring in new partners, give opportunity when everyone else is either shutting down or firing people or bringing them on a permanent leave. Well, then we need to give them an opportunity to do these amazing products. And isn't Gabriel amazingly cute here? And he's trying to take the AirPods here, but I can't allow him to do that because then you cannot hear me anymore. So now, as we do this, and this is my last little caution in everything, and he is determined to get these AirPods. Maybe my wife could come down here and help me. She should be seeing this in about 20 seconds because there is a little bit of a delay. And it's kind of like hard when you have your kids around, but I know this is going to go on in your online meetings too, so don't worry about that. That's going to happen. And sometimes we have a good plan and hope we have the kids, but sometimes it's not a good plan, but that's okay. But the point is that as we go out and we take massive action because we believe in the future, we believe that this shall also pass. We believe that the world is a better place after this crisis passed. And we believe in 2019, in 2020, and in 2021, people should absolutely be in balance and they should be on the health protocol. Be respectful because people are hurting. Some people lose their income. Some people lose their business. Some don't know if they're losing the business or not. And some people lose health. Hilda is now coming in and she got to mute me in the back here, otherwise we will have this going around. People lose their business and some people lose their own health for a period of time, and some people will have families struggling, and there is going to be people that you know that will lose loved ones, and they got to have to come through that. And in this time we still have to do our job, even though we don't know which situation people are in. So it's important that we are respectful, that we spread a good message, that we don't overpromise, that we promise what we always promise, and that we deliver on our promises. And that when we bring people into the business, we work with them. And that when we get it tough ourselves, that we stay sharp through that period of time, so that we are leaders that have to do those action steps in the middle of all the things that might be difficult. So in the middle of a crisis, who survives? Well, it's those that plan for the worst and hope for the best. I remember many, many years ago, I learned this news that when you go on board an airplane, the people that survive if an airplane is in trouble is the people that can navigate in the cases of a threatening situation when it's dark and nothing is working. So I always count the seats to the closest escape. If I ever go on a ship or I ever go and live at a hotel, I always check the emergency escape before I go to bed, because I know if that alarm goes off in the middle of the night, I need to be able to navigate without being able to see, without being able to breathe. That's why when we are coming into this crisis, we were planning for things that were happening so that when it gets tough, we can be the survivors, we can be the people that actually makes it out and go tenfold after the crisis is over. It's time for you to set aside 3 times 5 minutes. 5 minutes to get in a state, to get in mode, to become strong, to feel that you are an amazing person. Going on, I spend time with my creator in prayer. That's one of the things that I do. But building that mindset, because you're going to need that mindset. I'm gifted, I'm talented, I'm a fast learner. I attract leaders like a magnet. Saying positive things to yourself. Get in state, I'm strong, I finish strong. I'm positive, I'm courageous, I'm an encourager, I'm confident, I'm a winner, I help people, I care for people. Get in state, spend 5 minutes every morning getting in state, getting ready for the day. Then spend 5 minutes on your goals for 2020. Tell it exactly the way you want. We're going to grow 50%. We'll end the year with 350,000 customers, is what I say every single morning. We will grow. I tell the numbers that I want to happen every single morning so that we stay strong in our mind through the crisis. Then you take 5 minutes and you look 10, 20, and 30 years ahead, because it's so easy to overestimate what we can do in the short term. And right now it's easy to underestimate what we can do in the short term. But in the long term, nothing has changed. The world has always had crisis, and this crisis should also pass. And all of those dreams you have as a dreamer, as a visionary, they shall come to pass. They will happen. Because when you believe in them, and we as Cincino do the mission possible, when we raise up and we go out there and we stay strong when other people become weak, we will absolutely be able to both sustain the business growth that we have. I think we'll be able to grow it a little bit. And then when we come out, all of you guys that are preparing now to go full time, you will have the fastest 90-day growth that you've ever had when we come out of this crisis. And we're going to see us going to new levels. I'm so proud of you guys for what we've done so far. And I can't wait to address you again and brag about the good things that we see in the middle of the desperate and dark times. Because we are the leaders, and we need to bring out those things that we can believe in, those things that we can hope for. We have to lift our vision and turn it to the future and tell that this shall come to pass as well. And in the middle of that, you can get a better future. You can protect your health and you can offer opportunity. I'm so sorry that we aren't together in the director trip. I would so love to go over and give you a hug, but for now we stay respectful to all the rules that we set down, and we go only Corona hugs, and we stay away from people in general, but we go massively into action online. And in those countries which has less restrictions, yes, you're free to meet people as well, but be respectful, protect yourself, keep yourself healthy, keep your health. Lots of love, and God bless all of you. Thank you.